This is not a big one. So now we are actually going to the unit 2 block 2, which is training and development. Okay, so I think most of us know what is training and development. It starts with the definition of it. It is like act of increasing knowledge skills of an employee for performing a job. Okay, it is generally a short term process. This is training. Now the development is a long term process where this is going to actually happen over the time. Okay, so it is like a long term educative process, and it is very systematic. Okay, so people learn, get to implement the knowledge, and they develop over the process, over the time. Okay, so training involves acquisition of knowledge, sharpening skills, concepts, rules, whatever it is, all the aspects, right? So what is the importance of training and development? So it is going to actually enhance your utilization of your human skills. You will be able to utilize people better. They will be more productive. Their spirit will be high. They will have a better culture, better climate, quality, etc., etc. I mean, all the things are goody things. Health and safety would be maintained. Their moral will be high. Okay, and your organization will have a very good image or brand value because all your employees are good. Okay, so that is what is that is what is the advantages of training and development, right? So basically now importance of training, and now we are going into advantage of training and development. So again the same thing, whatever is important is what would be repeated in advantages as well. Actually, okay, so one and the same, all the same points, whatever that is there in the advantage as well. What are the other advantages of it apart from whatever that we talked about? Okay, so it helps in developing your people's leadership skills, overall motivation of them. Their loyalty will be better when they have better. I mean, when organization is caring about improving and developing them, their particular employees, their commitment would be higher. So all those things are the extra things that are going to get other than the skills, profitability, etc., etc. Okay, so and knowledge is very important, and it does have a very strategic value as far as the entire organization is concerned, right? So generally education is not finished with school, so you need to actually till end of your life you need to continue doing acquisition of new knowledge. Okay, so it is very important, and knowledge is just not about for the just sake of it you are just collecting it. So you need to collect knowledge which is like useful for the organization in an organizational context as well. Okay, so that is about the training and development knowledge acquisition. Okay, so now we are going into entrepreneurship part. Okay, it is just telling that with training you are going to actually improve the entrepreneur skills of employees as well. They will have much more business acumen after they get trained. Okay, so training on the advanced technologies. So obviously there are a lot of technologies that come in. Hence, it is important to refresh your employees on the newer skills, so that they can work in an effective way, and you actually have the transformation which is in sync with the external environment. Their productivity is high, their health and safety aspect is high. So this is on training and development on advanced technologies. Okay, so now we are going into techniques or methods of training. This is an important question. So first technique is, there are actually multiple cognitive methods which are part of. So there are two types of techniques. One is cognitive, other is behavioral. Okay, so there are set of techniques under cognitive, there are set of techniques under behavior. Okay, so we are first going into cognitive techniques. Okay, so cognitive techniques, lectures, basically somebody giving a lecture to you. So it generally happens, somebody is presenting you, and a group or a person who is actually receiving is listening to that particular thing, right? So that is lecture. Okay, so it is very straightforward, everybody understands what is lecture. Demonstration, so it is like somebody demoing it, you are seeing the demo how it works. right? So generally it is a two-way flow when it comes to basically they are displaying certain things, and you are actually perceiving whatever that they are actually seeing, those particular, you are learning while they are displaying. Next is discussion. Discussion is nothing but you are sitting and trying to actually debate, trying to answer questions, trying to ask questions. So it's kind of a two-way communication between the trainer and the person who is trying to receive. Okay, so discussion could happen from the both ways, either trainer or lecturer talking to the learner, learner talking to the lecturer. Next is computer based training. Computer based training is like using computer to train people. That is what it is. Okay, generally it is like showing the videos, showing the YouTube or whatever it is. So it involves a lot of multimedia related aspects organized in a right manner, so that training actually see and learn. Okay, so it also, this could have self-paced learning as well. So people can learn this particular, undergo this particular training at their own pace, right? It's not that everybody will have to see the video at the same time, right? So it is also can be customized based on the person's requirement, the sequence and whatever it is, right? So it also reduces the cost. So there are a lot of advantages as far as this computer based training is concerned. Next is intelligent tutorial systems. Okay, so this is about utilizing artificial intelligence. Basically systems are now becoming intelligent, so they are assessing what is the trainee's profile, what exactly he requires, how he is responding to the quizzes and other things which are coming in between. Based on that, the system would actually train the person and in a customized way. Okay, so it evaluates, it improvises, it interacts. All those aspects would actually come into this intelligent tutorial system. Okay, so so there are 5 components in such things. One is domain expert, whoever is providing this particular knowledge base. A trainee model, so that is like how exactly the trainee is performing. So basically this is on profile of the trainee. Second is scenario generator. So basically this generates scenarios based on this particular trainee, whatever that thing that various scenarios that would be possible as the training goes, right? So scenario generator, the one which generates those scenarios. The third is the training session manager. That means this is the one which is mapping the scenarios to where the trainee is responding. So based on whatever the responses, it intelligently goes and picks the scenario and gives it to the the training. The last one is user interface. So it will typically be computer based, hence it will have some kind of an interface which you will interact with, right? The next one is programmed instruction. So this is like a computer based training. Again, it is like the same CBT that we talked about. Okay, but only thing that is going to be there is this is going to be based on certain order, or rather it is like connected information. So it goes from, it starts with okay low level, and then it slowly goes as trainee is increasing the capability. So it is like, oh yeah, if you finish this, then this will come, and then this will come, and then this will come, something like that. So it is like connected instructions, or rather it goes through that particular kind of a process. Okay, so next is virtual reality. So here you can wear VR and then you can actually see something as if you are there in that particular thing. Right now things has become much more immersive, so people can actually wear VR and learn how to drive a car as well. So in the driving centers you have simulators and other things which actually provide you that. So next we are going into, so this completes cognitive. Now we are going into behavioral modeling. First is games and simulations. So you actually create training game. While they are playing that particular activity, people will learn. So you give challenges, people keep on playing as if it is a game. That is what is training game. Simulation, you are actually simulating a scenario and people are trying to actually do that or solve that particular scenario, whatever that is simulated, right? So key components of this training and simulation, you are going to actually give challenges. People are going to resolve challenges. There are certain rules under which they play and they interact with it. So challenges, rules, interactivity are the key components, right? The next one after games and simulations is behavior modeling. Okay, so it is like you show somebody and say that you need to actually behave in this way. So there is a model that you show and say that this is how you need to do job. That is what is behavioral modeling, right? Typically the procedure would be you might actually show a video tape and say that Swami Vivekananda under these circumstances he did in this way or whatever it is, that is why you need to be like this, something like that, right? And people see that and they actually get the skills whatever that are required while they are actually seeing the model. Okay, sometimes you might actually give the scenarios while you are actually doing these particular showing these particular models, and you might actually make people practice what they are actually seeing there. Okay, so you would also tell while showing the video what are the points that you need to observe. You need to tell that critical information, saying that see how he is doing, see his hand, see his leg, how he is moving, something like that, right? And also practice would be you will encourage people to practice interpersonal training. Okay, so this is like you are it's you are training the interpersonal skills. Okay, and it can be, I mean, you might have to actually train various individuals on these interpersonal skills. For example, how to do sales, how to deal with the safety aspects, how general interpersonal skills should happen, how you should take interview, how you should attend interview. All these things could actually come under interpersonal training. Okay, so now going into business games. Okay, here what you are actually giving is you are giving a business scenario to the person and you are asking person to actually react. So it is not a, it could be a real scenario, it could be a hypothetical scenario where you are actually giving something and you are asking people to play, saying that you are a CEO of this company, we had this much of loss and you need to actually make a you want to choose which product that you need to make, and this is product A, this is product B, what is the decision that you are going to take, those kind of things. Okay, you give the scenario, you give the responsibilities, and let the trainee play that particular role and actually go with this particular decisions. And then his decisions can be discussed with the trainer, and trainer could actually understand the justifications given by trainee and slowly tune what is right in that decision, what is wrong in that decision, what are the implications and all those stuff. Okay, so this is typically used to build the decision making skills. Generally it happens in the leadership coaching kind of a scenario. Okay, so communication, procedural knowledge, strategic knowledge, these are the some of the things that this technique emphasizes on. Next is role plays. So it is like drama baji where you actually give and play the role as if you are doing it, right? So you so there is a scenario which you need to actually enact or do or whatever it is. Okay, so there are multiple types of role plays. One is multiple role play where you are all in the group, each acting out your own role. Basically, you have multiple groups or multiple individuals in the group, all playing some role, and then you are making a drama together, right? And the next is single role play. Okay, where one is playing, rest are observing what he is going to do. Role rotation. Basically, this is like you are going to first one would actually start, and then the discussion based on the discussion, the roles would rotate one by one, right? And spontaneous role play, where you actually play some role and then nominate others depending on where it ends. It is almost like Antyakshari, where oh yeah, you ended it here. Okay, now you take it over, something like that. So spontaneous. So people will have to actually take from there. Okay. So next is now role play is done. We are going into management development method, where there are two types of methods that are there when it comes to this training. One is on job and the other is off job. On job is nothing but you are actually doing that job and somebody is coaching you, mentoring you, training you in those particular skills which you are doing job. That is on job. Off job is you are actually not in that job, but you are being trained on those particular skills so that you can play those particular roles in future. That is off job training, which includes sensitivity training, simulation exercises, lectures or whatever it is, right? And we are now going into section assessment of training needs. That means we are done with behavioral trainings as well. Okay. So now we are going into assessment of training needs. The first is how exactly you are going to assess the need. Okay. So need assessment. You're going to check where the performance is having a problem, that is performance deficiency. You're going to check based on the individuals and group interviews. You're going to check people what exactly they would want to learn, right? You might have an assessment centers where you are actually employees are writing tests, and based on those results you are assessing that, oh yeah, they lack this, right? And it could also be new employees. There are new employees into your organization, you are actually training them. And there are levels of need assessment. So basically, and depending on the purpose, the competency, you decide which level they fall into. Okay. And basic needs of need assess, what are the basic needs? So again, it is same as whatever the methods there: performance, group interviews, assessment centers, training new employees, and even the individual's aspirations, which is individual analysis. Except that individual analysis, the basis of needs assessment and methods of needs assessment is one and the same. Okay. So again, now we are going into the training and development methods. There are three techniques. One is content technique. Okay. Content technique is more on information providing. It is more related to a cognitive level. Process techniques, it is related to soft aspects like attitudes, awareness, interpersonal skills, and all those stuff. Now there are mixed techniques where you actually mix both content and process. Okay. So now again it talks about on-job training and off-job training. In case of on-job training, the things like how you're going to teach people by making people work on the job, right? So you might do job rotation. You suddenly say that, okay, now you're supervisor of this department, go to the other department, supervise that. Automatically, while doing or supervision on the other department, you will learn. Other way is coaching. You coach a person while he is doing it, right? Give job instructions. Maybe you provide step-by-step instructions to him saying that do this, do this, do this, next, this kind of a thing. Team assignments. So you might have to actually give assignments. So to solve certain actual organizational problem, you solve that problem. While you are solving the problem, you learn how to solve it, right? Off-job training. Off-job training, simulation. Simulation is one way you simulate the scenario. That is, there is a new term that they used here, vestibuli training. I don't know what this is, but it is simulation. Okay. Case method, you give a case study, they read the case study and they get it. Role play, we already talked about. Incident method. Okay, so you actually show a particular incident and teach them how that particular incident happened. It is very similar to case study, but it is a case study could be hypothetical. Here it is like a particular incident. Okay. And then role playing, we already talked about. Experiential exercises where you experience the case study and also do the role play of it, right? Read the case study and do a role play. Conferences and discussions. Programmed instructions, which we already talked about. Sequential units provided, similar to the computer based training, but it is sequential. One by one, you will complexity levels will increase. Next is computer based training. We already talked about it. I don't know why they repeated again. And the advantages of computer based technique, it actually, you can customize things for people. Okay. It is in the learner's control. So learner is in full control in what pace that he need to actually learn. Okay. And so now coming to the evaluation part of it, evaluation of training program. So there are four reasons why you want to evaluate training program. So obviously you want to make decisions about future use of this program, whether this is effective or not, right? And you also want to assess based on the trainees, right? What exactly that I need to do about this particular trainee after this particular training program, kind of a thing. Okay. And next one is contribute to the training. I mean, basically scientific understanding of the process. So you could probably understood that this process worked, this process didn't work. So this is how the scientific way it is, right? And then you go to political or public relationship related thing, right? That means your entire organization credibility will be increased when you have a successful training program. So this completes training and development, which is relatively a shorter topic when compared to the others. I think from here on, in entire HRD, the topics would become shorter and shorter. Lengthier topics are done, actually speaking.